Hello students of class 9, this is Vandana Akka and today we will continue with the third chapter of our geography syllabus, which is exogenetic processes part 1. So yesterday children, we tried to understand the factors. We learnt about the factors that were responsible for the exogenetic processes. Okay, what are exogenetic processes? They are external processes. Okay, and so what is the meaning of exogenetic processes? That means we understand by the word exogenetic, which means external. So we understand that the processes that happen on the earth or close to the surface of the earth are called as exogenetic processes. So yesterday we tried to understand the factors that are responsible for exogenetic, that is the external processes. Okay, and they are the solar energy, the gravitational force and the kinetic energy. And we also try to understand the various forms of weathering. Okay, the various kinds of weathering, that is the mechanical weathering, the chemical weathering and the biological weathering. So today let us try to understand mechanical weathering. Mechanical weathering is like we did not discuss it yesterday, but today we can look at the images. Okay, see, so this is a dome shaped rock. Okay, and we can see that it has been it is in layers. Okay, it is not it doesn't show the even surface of the rock, rather it is showing up in scales. Okay, so these are the scales that we see. Okay, so let us understand. We will try to understand that how this happens as we proceed further. Now this is a rock which is very close to the sea. We can see the sea part here, and this is the cliff. It is a cliff. You can see that this whole rock has been disintegrated. Okay, this is a block of a rock and it has been disintegrated. That is it has been broken up in pieces. Okay, it has been broken up into pieces. It is not an even rock. Again, this is an example of mechanical weathering. Now here also we can see that this was once upon a time a whole rock. Okay, and then now look at it. What has happened to it? It has broken up. Okay, these are the pieces of the rock which have come apart. Has anybody done harm to it? Has man gone and broken them? Has man broken this rock? Has man gone and broken up this rock? Or has man carved, made out the fine scales of this rock? It is not like this. No. So these are the images that tell us about the mechanical weathering. So today we are going to discuss what mechanical weathering is all about in detail. So the geographical explanation. Breaking or weakening of rocks is a natural phenomenon. It is called weathering. Weathering can be of three types: mechanical, that is also called as physical, chemical and biological. In arid climates, that is in dry climates, mechanical weathering is dominant. Dominant means it is seen on a larger scale, where in dry climates if you talk about India, then we have dry climates in Rajasthan, we have it in Gujarat also, and in parts of Maharashtra also. Okay, so what kind of weathering can happen in such areas, in such regions? It can be mechanical weathering. Okay, so that is mostly commonly seen in arid, that is in dry climates, while in humid climates chemical weathering is more effective. Okay, so where there is more humidity, chemical weathering is more dominant there, that is near the coastal areas. Okay, now biological weathering occurs because of living organisms. So we can see, we looked at the image over here. We see that there is an ant. Okay, and she has made a burrow, a small hole in the surface of the earth. Okay, so what has happened? She has actually changed the surface, the form of the earth. Okay, so hence this living being, that is the ant, is responsible for biological weathering. In the next image here we see what is biological weathering. We can see that this was once upon a time a huge one single solid rock. Okay, now we can see that it has shattered. Okay, we can see a piece of rock lying aside. And why has that happened? Because a tree has come out. Okay, a tree has grown in the middle of the rock. Fine. So the tree, which is also considered as a living being because they can grow. Okay, so the tree has broken up this rock, so hence this is called as, okay, so this is the weathering of the rock that we can see because of the living being, that is a tree here, and hence this is called as the biological weathering. So now let us see. So we are going to study in detail the first kind of weathering, which is the mechanical weathering. Okay, they have given an activity. Try this. Take an onion, cut it in the middle, observe the cut parts, try to remove each skin layer of these parts. Okay, so they have asked us to do an activity where we take an onion, okay, and we cut it in the middle, that is we make two halves of the onion, and then we observe the cuts. So what do we see? We see layers in the onion. Fine. So what relation it has got to do in order to demonstrate mechanical weathering, we will see over here. Okay, so the geographical explanation is here. You will notice that just as we can remove each and every outer layer of the onion, similarly in nature rocks undergo such a process. So the exposed part of the rocks, that is the exposed is the part that is open to the sun, okay, to the air, which is exposed, which is revealed to the air, to the sun. So the exposed part of the rock heats more while the inner part is comparatively cooler. As a result, the outer layers of the rocks fall apart from the main rock. This is called as exfoliation of the rock. Exfoliation is what? It is to remove the outer layer. Okay, the removal of the outer layer of anything is called as an exfoliation. So in Diwalis, what do you use to, we commonly use some powder, a dry powder, to exfoliate our body. We usually use it in Diwali time. That is called as utna in Hindi and Marathi. Okay, in English, if you see, it is called as an exfoliator. That what does it do? It exfoliates our skin, dead cells. Okay, so the same thing happens with the rock over here. Okay, so the part that is exposed to the sun of the rock, okay, what happens is only the outer layer of the rock gets exposed to the sun, and because of that it becomes very, very hot. So what happens, we will understand here in the next paragraph. Okay, so here they say that the mechanical weathering mainly occurs because of the following reasons. Okay, and what are the reasons? They are temperature, frost, crystal growth, release of pressure, and water. So mechanical weathering is caused because of these reasons. Sorry. So we were talking about the first type, okay, the first reason, and that is temperature. We were talking about exfoliation in the above paragraph. So let us try to understand how the exfoliation of a rock happens. We can see that the exfoliation of the rock has happened here. Okay, we can see in this image. You can also read the heading over here, the labeling. It is the exfoliation of dome shaped hill. Okay, so this is the example of exfoliation. So temperature. So let us try understanding how temperature is responsible for exfoliation, or for the mechanical weathering. So temperature, the minerals in the rocks expand. So we are continuing the same paragraph as above, where the rocks outer surface of the rock is exposed to the sun. So then what happens? So when such a thing happens, then the minerals in the rocks expand because of heat, okay, and contract when temperature decreases. Due to such continuous contracting and expanding, tension develops in the rock particles. Each mineral reacts differently to the temperature. Some minerals expand more while others do not expand as much. Consequently, the tension formed in the rocks also increases and decreases. As a result, cracks develop in the rocks and they break. In areas where the diurnal range, that is, diurnal range means what? The temperature during the day. So where the diurnal range of temperature is higher, weathering of this type is common in the hot deserts. So in this paragraph we understand how temperature is responsible for mechanical weathering. So what have they told us? That when the rocks are exposed to heat, then what happens is the minerals in the rocks, they expand due to the temperature, okay, due to the heat. Now it happens during the day when the outer layer of the rock is exposed to the sun's rays, okay. So the expansion of the minerals keep on happening throughout the day, but then when it is night, the temperature is comparatively very less. It decreases drastically at night. At that time, the minerals in the rocks, what happens to them is they contract. So due to such continuous contracting and expanding, okay, contracting of minerals happen at night and expanding of minerals happen during the day. So what happens? The rock undergoes through contraction and expansion again and again, and it happens every day. So what happens there? A kind of tension develops in the rock particles. Okay, a tension develops in the rock particles, and we know that the rocks are made of various kinds of minerals. So each mineral in the rocks reacts differently to the temperature. So some minerals expand more while others do not expand as much. So therefore what happens? The tension formed in the rocks also increases and decreases. As a result, cracks develop in the rocks and they break. In areas where the diurnal range of temperature is higher, weathering of this type is common in the hot deserts. So this is how we understood that why temperature is one of the reasons for mechanical weathering. We understood in this kind of in these two paragraphs that how exfoliation of rocks happen. In the next session, we will study more about mechanical weathering, and we will consider the next topic, the next reason, which is frost and crystal growth. So see you in the next session. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.